I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us again this month. Really excited about our guests that we have this evening. As you may have read in our calendar invite in our newsletter that I'm sure everybody's reading, we have two very special guests. One is one of our own, Miss Larabee Thompson, and she's going to give herself, she gets her own introduction from herself because there's really no introduction to be made for her.
I am a family advocate with LOPA, and I got here kind of the hard way. And so I wanted to talk a little bit today about my relationship with the church. I'm a donor mom, and I kind of want to touch on how important our church family was during the hardest time of our life. And so how those connections, how we made those connections, connecting our faith community to organ and tissue donation, and help to celebrate those gifts. So I'm a member of Horseshoe Drive United Methodist Church in Alexandria, Louisiana. And we joined Horseshoe. I was a convert to Catholicism. I'm married a good old country Baptist boy, and so we found a place to meet in the middle, and a place that we found a home for our hearts. And after we had our first child, it's amazing how those kinds of things cause you to put your priorities in the right order. And so we started looking for a faith community that we could raise our child in. And so I have a little picture. I don't know if y'all be able to see it because I can't see what I have. Oh, here we go. So this was us at Horseshoe at Garrett's baptism. And so that's Reverend Don Ross. It was our pastor at that time. And later Juan came back to also be part of our pastoral team. And so church became a very important part of our life. It, that was where we raised the kids. We had a village to help us in that journey. And I never could have imagined how important that community would be until we suffered the loss of our son. So in 2007, like I said, Juan and Don were our pastors. Garrett suffered an injury that would eventually lead to his death. And, from those first few moments at the hospital through, all of the services and everything, for years and years, to this day, it was our faith community that helped. It was our church family that helped us get through those difficult times. One of the most vivid memories I have, one of the few memories I have of our time at the hospital, we were at Rapides Women's and Children's Hospital. And so there's a big skywalk that goes across from the hospital side to the doctor's office side. And I remember walking out of that door and just that whole corridor being filled with people. And just, feeling that love from the get-go meant the world to us. And so, Juan and Don really walked us through, guided us through, planning services and taking care of all of those vital needs. But, it also became more about how they surrounded us with love and comforted us. 7 days after we buried Garrett, we had to have a birthday party. And every family that had a child came to our second son, Avery's birthday party on August 8th. So, 7 days after they came to the funeral. And they came with all of their excitement and all of their love and cared for us. They fed us both emotionally and physically. We had, long before mealtrain.com existed, the families in the church brought us food every night. And I felt like that their support was different than the support that we had with our biological family. you know, our parents and grandparents were also carrying their own grief. And so I felt like our church family were able to carry us through that. I wouldn't say with no strings attached, because they were all obviously attached to our family, but with a little more strength than maybe, you know, our biological family had to give us. And so that was so very valuable to us. They've, like I said, they've continued to support us over the years. For many years, we have done a toy drive for Garrett's birthday, and the biggest supporters are our church family. They bring in the toys and fill up the foyer with toys in October so that we can deliver toys to the local hospital pediatric units. And they, of course, have celebrated Garrett's gift. I've, of course, told Garrett's story many times to our congregation. And through those connections in our congregation, I was able to share his story with others. Some of the ladies from our church knew other ladies who were United Methodist women. And so I was invited to several other UMW groups to speak. They were members of civic organizations that invited me to speak after going through that with us. So their connections in our community helped to spread the story, to help to spread Garrett's story and also the story of donation. And then they were there for the victories as well. Garrett was able to save 4 lives through organ donation, and we were blessed to meet his heart recipient. And of course, it all happened around the church. They provided us a kind of neutral ground to have that first meeting. So we met at the church, and you know, they fed us, and we're so excited to hear all of the stories that we had to tell after that special meeting. So, you know, they have supported us and carried us through the most difficult time in our lives. And by celebrating with us and by honoring Garrett's gift of donation, they have brought that message to our local community. And so I think that's just a really a special way that not only we can share the importance of donation, but also, you know, add a personal touch to know that it's something that affects more families than we realize.